In this video we're going to cover the ingredients of a good follow-up email and a good promotional email. Now this is going to be the last video in the entire email marketing video course, and this is going to be an overview of exactly how to structure your emails for best results. So I've got 5 different tips I'm going to walk you through. Now we have already discussed some of these tips in previous videos, but not all at the same time. So I'm going to give you a complete overview on how everything works together so that your email campaigns are a success. So tip number 1 is you need a good subject line that gets a good open rate. Your subject line is where everything begins in your email marketing. Okay, if your subject line isn't very good at getting people to open your email, it doesn't matter how good your content is in your actual body of your email, it doesn't matter how good your call to action is or anything else that I've shown you throughout the course, because if your subject line doesn't get people to open your email, then your email campaign is just going to be a disaster, because obviously no one's going to actually get to your email, or no one's going to actually read the content that you have within your email. So your subject line is very, very important. So make sure that you use all the tips that I've given you throughout the course in your subject lines. Now tip number 2 is the content of your email needs to keep your subscriber engaged. So the first tip is you need a good subject line. If somebody opens your email, then you're already halfway there. The next stage, which is tip 2, is the content of your email needs to keep your subscriber engaged so that they continue to read down the page. So if you can do this, then you will be most of the way there. So that was tip number 2. Okay, make sure that your content is or engages with your subscribers. So try to make sure that the content of your email keeps your subscribers engaged so that they continue to read down the page, and obviously use all of the tips that I've given you in all of the previous videos to do that. Tip number 3 is you must have a good call to action. So if you've got somebody to open your email, that's good. If you've managed to keep people engaged throughout your email, that's great. The next step is to actually give people a call to action, to actually tell people to carry out a certain task, whatever that may be. So make sure that you give people a good call to action. Click here or do this. Whatever you tell them to do, make sure it's clear, and use all of the tips that I've given you in the previous videos to do that. Okay, I use the actual hyperlinks in my emails, and they say click here to visit the page, or click here to grab the video, or click here to check it out. So if you give a good call to action in your links, okay, rather than just put a URL, this will definitely help with your click-through rates within your emails. Now tip number 4 is you must always have, this is absolutely imperative, and this is probably something that I didn't actually cover in any of the other videos, but this is really important. You must have one single end goal in mind in your emails. Okay, don't give your subscribers different choices on what they can do within your emails. Every email that you send out, you must have one end goal. Okay, so that could either be to click through to your blog, to click through to a sales page, to click through to a squeeze page, to click through to an article, a video, okay, or a different list that you're trying to build. Whatever it is, just have one single goal in mind for each of the emails that you send out. Okay, don't send an email out and give people 3 options where they could either buy something from the bottom of your page, or halfway up they could join an opt-in page. That is just going to completely confuse people, and your results will be really, really terrible. So make sure that you have one single goal in mind in each of the emails that you send out. That's tip number 4. Tip number 5, the last tip, is you must create some urgency within your emails. And this is mainly for promotions. Don't worry too much about this for your actual follow-up emails, because this is mainly for promotions. As I showed you in the promotional video, in the video where we covered how to do a promotional email, make sure that you give people a good call to action, and you can use a PS as well, because you can include your name, something like "talk to you soon," your name, and then underneath that put a PS, and then you can include a small paragraph to say that it's a time limited offer or something like that. So whatever you do, obviously make sure that you're honest, but make sure that you create some type of urgency. And again, this is mainly for promotions. For follow-up messages, just use the cliffhanger technique that I showed you in one of the previous videos, where you actually get people to want to open your next email. But for promotions, you need to create some urgency, otherwise they will have no reason to actually click through to the sales page, and you'll just lose sales hand over fist. So those are the 5 tips that you need, and those are the complete ingredients that make up a good email. Okay, a good subject line, good content, a good call to action, have one single end goal in mind, and create some urgency if you're using if you're doing a promotion. And don't forget to include some PSs, because PSs do work really well, and people always read the PS. So that is the complete video. That is the complete overview of everything that makes up a good email. But like I said, it will differ slightly from a promotional email to a follow-up email. The follow-up emails, you want to try to get people to open your next email. Your promotional emails, you need to be creating some urgency so people take action there and then, because otherwise this will have a massive effect on your EPC and your actual income that you make from your email promotions. So that is the end of this video, and that is the end of the entire course. I hope you've really enjoyed it, and everything that I've given you throughout the course, I've spent many months and many years finding this information out, testing everything myself. So everything I've given you is everything that I've used and I've tested in many years in my own business. So I hope you've really enjoyed the information, and I hope that you can use everything in your own business, whatever niche or industry or market that may be, because everything that I've shown you throughout the videos can be adopted to any market and any niche. So don't ever forget that. So I want to thank you for purchasing the course, and hopefully I'll be talking to you again very soon. Take care.